going on, guys? Currently Eric here, and another edition of Comic Talk Wednesday is today. So let's get right into it. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice apparently. So we're going to talk about 3 comic books today that came out on today, which would be Wednesday. So let's talk about them right now. First one up, the Hellblazer, which is the new Constantine series for the DC Universe Rebirth. And very interesting, not a lot going on here. In the beginning and throughout the comic itself, Constantine just kind of tying up loose ends and helping out the Swamp Thing find a new lady, and you kind of figure out what happened that day. Why, if you got the prologue, the Rebirth, Hellblazer Rebirth #1 one shot, Swamp Thing helps out Constantine run a distraction for Wonder Woman, so they wouldn't apprehend Constantine when all that, because he wanted to go back to England. So not much that really went on. You kind of got a backstory about this this guy named Married and Annan, and in the end of it, you kind of got the backstory of what Swamp Thing did to help out Constantine, what their deal was, and I guess Swamp Thing had a thing for Abby, this girl Abby, and she's gone, and Constantine hooks him up with another girl, and you get the whole backstory of how that happened, how they owed a favor, and then in the end of it, the end of their comic, Married goes and he finds Adnan and he chokes him out, and he chokes out Adnan, which is his brother, and he goes, there's no way that humans need to be guided. They don't need our help. They need a strong hand, and that hand is us. And he ends up killing his brother. And just a pretty weak start for Constantine, the Hellblazer series, to me. Didn't really fill in a lot of things. It filled in a couple little tie-ins that happened with the prologue, but not too much. I'm kind of excited to see what happens in #2 with the end of how Hellblazer #1 ended. So moving on, so we'll see what happens. So let's move on to Blue Beetle Rebirth #1, which is the only one shot. And I was actually really impressed with this. We got to see more of James Reyes be Blue Beetle, and how it almost kind of feels like Spider-Man-y to me. He feels Spider-Man-y, kind of like Spider-Man, young kid trying to go to high school. He has the Blue Beetle stuck on his back, and it was the Rebirth one shot was really good. You got to see how he works well with Cord, and I'm trying to find the Beetle Mobile thing. He works well with Cord. Cord made a Blue Beetle flying car right there that actually kind of reminds me of the Night Owl little flying vehicle. It actually looks just like it, except for it's not a Night Owl, it's a Beetle. And it was very good. I really liked that. I really like this. Blue Beetle, he went out and attacked. He fought 2 older villains, which are Ruin and what the hell's the other guy's name? God damn it! Where is it? He fought Ruin and Rack and Ruin, and it was good. He ended up fighting through, and the Blue Beetle still giving him trouble and fighting, having the armor override James Reyes' thoughts, so he can't attack. So the armor was just doing what it wanted to do, and it was hurting and all that. It was very good. I liked it. We got a little more backstory on Cord and how he's helping him, and the armor kind of was a little taking control and it was doing its own little thing. And the best part about it all in the end that I liked mostly is that we got to see Dr. Fate pop up, and Dr. Fate tells Theodore Cord that the Blue Beetle is not the Blue Beetle scarab on James Reyes' back is not technology, it's magic instead. And you're not playing with heroes. You believe the Blue Beetle scarab to be xenotechnology, Theodore. That is a lie. The blue's a lie, purposely perpetuated by the darkest of sorceries. You're not playing with extraterrestrials, you're playing with magic. And Theodore was like, magic? And then we kind of go into this girl just kind of walking home. She goes, Aunt Amparo, I'm home. and Aunt Empire was telling her, like, this little girl that there's leftovers, and she's on the phone with, like, somebody talking about Rack and Ruin not getting the Blue Beetle Scarab and all that, and very interesting. Very interesting to see where it's going to go. I'm curious to see how Blue Beetle #1 is actually going to be. So we're going to be definitely looking into that. I like a lot of the Rebirth stories. A lot of the Rebirth stories have been very nice. Whether them kind of being a little bit of a retelling of origin or anything else like that. And finally, we're going to talk about my favorite, Deathstroke #1. And I really like this. It continued on from Deathstroke Rebirth #1, talking more about Wintergreen and building more of the Wintergreen and Deathstroke's relationship as well. Continue on with the perpetrating of the Clock King, putting one over on the African Emperor or African Warlord that hired Deathstroke to help him. And it was pretty good. I really appreciate it. We got a little bit more of the backstory of Wintergreen as well. When he goes after the Clock King, we get more of a little bit more of a backstory. Like right here, Clock King hits him with like a time blast, and it makes him start reliving things from his past. And we get to see more of how Deathstroke was like a little bit younger, and how his sons rejected him, and how Wintergreen was really there to help out and help out with the family and help like lead Deathstroke into the right way. And Deathstroke ends up flying down and pretty much sitting there, attacking the Clock King, puts some bullets in him, knocks him out. He sat there and pretty much, hurts the Clock King hard and makes him go old age. And he's like, "You promised you didn't kill me." And Deathstroke's like, "I didn't." And he lets go of, gets his hands on the African warlord that hired him and pretty much demanded him to let the people's families go, that he was holding all the soldiers that were underneath the warlord's reign, and captured all their families and everything, and we're going to put them to death and all that, and Deathstroke made him release all that. And we got a little bit of a situation where, Wintergreen's pretty much telling him that he's had, the same hallucinations, and that, where the hell have you been? And he's like, "Oh yeah, I've been having the same hallucination," and Deathstroke punches him right in the face right there and tells him, "Billy, wake up." And Wintergreen's like, "You mean I'm not dreaming? You're actually here?" He's like, where the hell have you been? I've been waiting, I'm waiting for you to come get me." He goes, and then, he's like, "Where the hell have you been?" And Deathstroke's like, "Golfing, really?" He goes, and he goes, "Golfing mainly." And freaking Wintergreen goes, "Really? Oh, how's your strokes going?" He's like, "I'm still about 8 over par." And just, typical soldier type thing, and all, typical soldiers, just haha, laughing it off. And, we get, at the end, we have the warlord Jizaki looking at the bottom, looking at a body that was apparently supposed to be Deathstroke's, and it's not. He sits there and he says, "Got my mail in the get my check in the mail, Admiral. Curious." He goes, "Curious, spending all that money going to so much trouble to get the world's deadliest assassin to change his clothes, to get Deathstroke to wear Dr. Iken's prototype. You really ticked someone off this time, old friend. Now how shall that benefit Jizaki the Red Lion?" Which is the warlord. So he ends up pretty much finding Deathstroke's armor that was not the Dr. Iken prototype, which is what this is right here, the Dr. Iken prototype that Wintergreen actually shoots at and says, it's just a little bit, it just needs a little bit of a recharge. See, right there, he shoots into it. So I'm very curious to see what the Dr. Iken prototype suit for Deathstroke's going to do, and how Jizaki, Red Lion, which is the African warlord that hired Deathstroke in the first place, is going to use the old Deathstroke armor that he was wearing originally, the original costume that he found. So, very excited to see where number 2 is going to lead. I like Deathstroke a lot because he's, just a badass mercenary with superpowers and super enhanced. I wouldn't say superpowers, but like super enhanced abilities. So very interesting to see that. I feel like we're getting a real authentic Deathstroke feel to him instead of like him just being like, well, I'm gonna join the Suicide Squad and then not be in the Suicide Squad and then goes kills gods like he was in like the New 52, which wasn't bad, but it didn't feel like a very Deathstroke-y to me. So with that being said, I'm done talking about those 3 comics. So if you like where they were, I definitely highly recommend picking them up. Order them from offline. If you've got a local comic store, go pick them up. So I'm out of here. I'll see you guys on Monday for Game Day Monday. And if you want, please hit me with a subscribe. If you like what you saw, hit me with a thumbs up. Maybe 2 thumbs up. Who knows? As well as all the links to follow me on social media are down below in the description. So I'll see you guys Monday. Well, you won't really see me. I'll be playing a video game and you'll hear my voice. But I'll have you guys with a new video on Monday.